What's going on, analysts? In this episode, we're talking with Amanda Bruner, a candidate running for IACA President. You've heard her ideas, you've seen her campaign platform, but today we're going to dig a little deeper. We'll explore her journey, her passion for crime analysis, and why she thinks she's the right fit to lead the IACA. So let's dive right in. All right, Amanda, let's kick things off. For those who might not be familiar with your work, could you tell us a bit about yourself and what you currently do in the world of crime analysis?
So I currently work for an organization called CNA, and CNA stands for the Center for Naval Analyses. It dates back to World War II, and essentially, I've explained this way, in that it's a very large organization. There's hundreds of members, and there's two primary portions. There is the federally funded Research and Development Center for the Navy, and so they have a SCIF in Arlington, and they do kind of war games, all that kind of stuff. And then there is the Institute for Public Research, so that's the side that I work on, and it filters all the way down. And then there are a team of crime analysts, and basically what we do is administer a variety of different grants from the federal government. So I primarily support 3 different grant programs that are funded by the Bureau of Justice Assistance. And within those, I basically travel just about every week to different agencies across the United States to provide crime analysis training and technical assistance. So I used to work full-time for an agency. I was their first crime analyst and set up their crime analysis program and everything like that. And I enjoyed it, but I was very curious to see what else was out there for crime analysis. And typically in the crime analysis space, promotion is either a bigger agency or taking on some other roles within the agency. It's oftentimes difficult at a one analyst agency. We were about 70 sworn. So I pursued this opportunity, and now, honestly, it is, I absolutely love my job in the sense of not only do I get to work with analysts from all different agencies, but the travel portion of it is very exciting. I like to say I was very fortunate this year. I went to the U.S. Virgin Islands for work. So things like that are very exciting. Granted, I've also had the trips, shout out to the Milwaukee area in the middle of winter, driving down in a blizzard. But yeah, it's been really exciting to kind of explore through that and just meet a lot of different contacts and so forth. But that obviously does consume, that's my full-time job. And then outside of that, I teach for a couple different universities online for crime analysis. I volunteer for crime analysis, kind of eat, breathe, live crime analysis. But in my free time, the main thing I've been doing lately has been playing pickleball. It has been very exciting. I was a tennis girl growing up. Played tennis all throughout high school. And I hadn't picked up a racket in years, and pickleball has been kind of this new, exciting, low impact per se activity. The thing is, though, I have to give it to some of these individuals who start up these pickleball spaces, right? I don't necessarily know what to call them, a facility or whatever, but they have done an excellent job in the marketing, and that I am a foodie. I absolutely love to eat. And they have meshed both eating and pickleball together. And so you can play over here. There's a restaurant. You can get a cheeseburger delivered to the court. Now those are some exciting things.
So every analyst has their own unique path. What led you to pursue a career in crime analysis? Was there a defining moment or someone who inspired you along the way?
Yeah, so I attended Michigan State for my undergraduate and graduate program. And I was a CJ student, and I can remember every time we'd go to class and everybody would say, oh, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Do you want to be a cop or a lawyer? Those are the only 2 things I ever mentioned that you could do. And I had gone down the path of, okay, maybe I'm going to be a cop. And so I had done several internships with different agencies. And at that point I was kind of like, I really love the environment. I love the work. However, I think I may be best suited behind a desk. So I started exploring some other options. So at the time, my cousin, he actually started out in college, he went to Ohio State and he got a job with State Highway Patrol as a dispatcher. He worked his way up through the ranks and he was an analyst with the State Highway Patrol for Ohio at the time. And so I went over and shadowed him for a day. And that was the first time I got to see CDRs and I got to see, like stalking a person in real life. This could be part of a career and different things like that. And so it was exciting. And so I started to see, this is the pathway. And so I took that back. I had a meeting with my guidance counselor at Michigan State. And so I was transitioning into the graduate program about this time. And there was an opening for an analyst internship with the Michigan State University Police Department. So at this point, I had no idea what IACA was. I had no idea really what a crime analyst was even. I had seen a little bit more on the narcotics side, but that was kind of it. And I walked into MSUPD, had a delightful conversation with the deputy chief at the time, and they brought me on, and it was kind of like, it was a match made in heaven. I always say that their full-time analyst at the time, Melissa Redshaw, she actually works for the Michigan Intelligence Operations Center now. She taught me everything that she's the one who taught me how to make my first pivot table, how to query data from an RMS, all of those types of things. And then that position turned into a part-time role, which turned into going to another agency and so forth. So it was kind of just this pathway. And it's been very interesting to kind of see the connections. I chat with my cousin here and there, and I was texting with him about I had attended the IACA conference, and he used to attend the IACA conference many years ago. He's got a couple kids now and everything, so he doesn't travel as much. But it's really neat to kind of have this full circle moment of following in his footsteps somewhat.
Could you share some of the initiatives or projects you've been involved in with the IACA?
So initially I was just a member, and I remember one of my colleagues, Charlie Gibretti, had emailed me. This was several years ago before the Chicago conference, and he had said, hey, would you be interested in putting together a presentation on this product you created at your agency? We could talk about CompStat automation. And I was like, oh, no. Like, I'm too new into this field. That's not going to be accepted. I was very nervous. And he was like, no, just try it. And so we put together a very comprehensive proposal. I ended up putting in for another topic as well. And I was able to present twice in Chicago. And so that was really exciting to kind of meet a lot of people. And so from there, it was kind of all forces ahead. I joined the Regional Associations Committee originally, representing the Carolinas Association. And then I transitioned from regional associations over to membership. So now I support the renewal of a variety of different groups and regional associations. So basically when you join, it has to be approved per the guidelines to ensure that you have a nexus to criminal justice. But then with the partnership with the regional associations, as well as larger agencies, we process those as one large group rather than having every person go to the website and renew. And so that's just really opened up a lot of doors. I was able to be a contributor to the automation chapter for the upcoming book. So Sam Gwynn had reached out and we met, and one of my colleagues and I basically wrote an intro for Power BI primarily, but just to kind of give some of the taste of automation, and if you are producing some of the same reports regularly, how can we streamline that workflow? So been involved with that, been to the last several conferences, attend the virtual board meetings, and through this process, this campaign itself, I lost track. I'm not exactly sure. I think I'm somewhere between 75 and 100 different interviews with members from all around the globe to really try and understand what the membership is looking for, different ideas. I think that there's this these discussions that happen at the conference and the meetings after meetings and things like that, and to be able to capture some of those ideas has been really exciting. But then I've been involved fairly actively at the regional level. I started out as the treasurer for the Carolinas Association, and now I'm the president of that association. So basically helped start Carolinas from the ground up. There was 5 of us. We had an email chain, and it was, all right, what can we do with this? And next thing you know, we have a 150-person conference a few years later. So like I said, been involved with crime analysis at a couple different perspectives. I would just say, kind of on the personal side, I try to do a decent amount of volunteering in my community as well. When I was little, my mom was the coordinator for a food pantry at our church, and that really got me involved. And so, with my schedule, it's a little bit more difficult now, but I always try and go back. It's a really great organization in Charlotte, North Carolina. And then there's always a soft spot in my heart for the doggies, the rescues. So I live for the day when I can adopt again. But I definitely I'm a TikTok fan of some of the dog feeds.
Now, Amanda, let's talk about your candidacy for IACA President. Why do you feel you're the best person to lead the association?
So I would just say that I have been fortunate enough to be involved with crime analysis from multiple different avenues. I've worked part-time, full-time for different agencies, and now I have the ability to support about 24 agencies across the nation. And I think that this has allowed me to recognize some of the challenges that are spread across this field, working with different analysts, working with different RMS vendors, working with different command staffs, and so forth. I've really started to identify some of those similarities. And that's really what motivated me to run, was to try and help give a voice to some of those analysts. With that being said, my platform is really focused on the key component of professionalism, with IACA advocating for this profession and this career field to kind of promote the sustainability of crime analysis. And within that, I have 3 pillars that are focused on transparency, technical skills development, as well as outreach and growth. So I would say that I have had a number of meetings with the membership, a number of meetings with different delegations, different groups, different individuals with different interests, and so forth, about how the IACA can continue to grow, and believe I have drafted a plan that is actionable, with both short, mid, and long-term objectives that we can kind of jump right in with that. I think that the current board has done an excellent job in stabilizing the organization, and I think now the question is, what's next? What does innovation look like for the IACA? What does the next step look like for the IACA? How can we empower analysts? And that's really what my goal here is.
That's Amanda Bruner, a candidate running for IACA President. If you liked what she had to say, drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you're enjoying these interviews, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.